Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. Today is January 17th, 2026. Welcome to Stamp and Create with Beth. I'm Beth Roy, an Independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And I'm just pulling up my feed here. So say hello when you come in. Good evening. So normally I do a live Saturday mornings, but today we had something going on, so here I am tonight. So thank you to those of you that could join me. Hi, Joan. If you watch the replay on Facebook for 30 days or over on YouTube, please say hello. Just trying to straighten myself up here. So hello, I'm going to be honest here. I'm kind of racing in by the, in complete chaos. How's that? So we're going to see how this goes. I have some ideas I want to share with you with some new paper. And we're just going to have a little bit of fun with a little bit of everything. Oh, Joan, exciting football playoffs. Well, I'm glad that you're watching both. I guess you could catch the replay if you miss anything. So I have lots and lots of bits and pieces. I have some things I'm going to have to cut, and I have a lot. So I want to jump in. I don't know who all is going to join me this evening. I know this might be a hard time for some people. So you know, if you are watching the replay and you want to make comments or answer questions, feel free to comment in the chat. Okay, so let me show you. We're going to be using this paper. I love this paper pack. It is called Nature Walk, and it has some beautiful, beautiful prints in here. And let me just pull it out. So I just really love this. I think this might be my all-time favorite paper pack. I've already bought more of it. So tonight we're using 2 6x12 pieces, and we're going to have some fun with it. So I need to cut this piece right here. Okay. It looks like my internet's having a little bit of trouble, so if it pops out, I apologize. So I already have one piece cut to the 6x12, and then we're going to use this grid. So you can see these beautiful patterns. They're very neat. We're going to use part of this paper, and I want to show you how you can use it with lots of different things. So raise your hand in the comments if you already bought this paper pack. And give me a thumbs up if you've bought more than one already. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this piece out because I need to cut it. This is the other half of the one I used to make this set of cards. So I'm going to go through everything that I used for each card. Now, when you're making a one-sheet wonder, you do not have to use all the same things. Or you can choose to make it like a theme and use all the same stamp set or all the same dies, okay? So, hello, Christy. So let's go through my cards, and then we're going to jump in and start cutting and get busy because I have some coloring techniques and some different things I want to show you. So this one uses this, I think this is like crumb cake and maybe gray granite. It's a little mix of some things. Beautiful, beautiful neutral that you can use with any stamp set. So I used some dies. They are on the last chance. It's the autumn trees, but you may have these in your stash. So I used a layering tree and some of the deer, and I colored those. So I'm going to show you how I made that. And then here's this one. So there's that beautiful moody green paper. I love it. It's Mossy Meadow, and I layered. And I'm going to show you a stamp set that I used to make this one. Okay. And I used Charming Day on that. and a new stamp set I will show you. Card 3 is some gears. I love it. So you saw some of these. Card 4, again, we're just using that patterns paper and we're layering whatever we want on top of it. Hello, Vicki. So this one is a mix between a couple sets. Here's some. You can just pair some greetings, okay? This is the new prayers and promises set. I love this. This is, I think, my new favorite color combo is this mossy, real dark mossy meadow with cloud cover. So we're going to do, most things I have pre-cut. So hopefully they'll go pretty quick. Some things we may have to cut. So this uses a new Sweet Bug set. I love it. Love it. So really fun cards. This is a little mix between flowers and gears, right? And then here is a different floral. And there is that mossy meadow and cloud cover combo again. So we are going to jump in and I'm going to show you how I made all of these cards. Now, if you are one of my customers, I have some offers for you. This offer is good for any of my customers in the U.S. You have to be in the U.S. to buy Stampin' Up! From me until the end of January 2026. So if you spend $50 in my online store, this is an offer I'm offering, okay? $50 in my online store, you get a PDF with this one sheet wonder and directions on how I cut it. And then you will see samples of my cards and a list of the items I use to make the cards. You, of course, can use whatever you have on hand. If you spend $75 or more in the month of January, you will also qualify for a little extra gift from me. An embellishment will be coming your way in the mail in February. So I will send the gifts for ordering in February, and make sure if you're buying from me that you select that you want to opt in. If you don't, I can't send you anything because I don't have your address or your email. But when you spend $75 before tax and shipping, you also qualify for the new product of the month, which is $5. It's kind of like celebration, but we're going to have it all year long. So super fun. This month, I will show you what January's product is. I've already used it on my cards, and I love it. Okay, so are you guys ready to jump in? Hopefully, I won't have to talk a million miles a minute, but we got a lot to do. We got a lot of fun to have here. So again, this paper is Nature Walk. Literally one of my favorites. I'm going to chop this one in half, and I wanted to show you something. This side, doesn't matter which way we cut it. However, this side has words, and it does. So if you want your words to be 6 by 12, make sure that this is facing the right way. So I'm just going to chop this in half, and then we're going to get going. Are you guys excited? How is your weekend going? I've had a very long week, and I am just happy to be crafting. Tuck this extra paper away. And I'm going to keep my trimmer nearby because we are going to have to cut some other things that I don't have cut. So there's my 2 pieces. I am going to chop this up and sort it. And then I'm going to pull out the pieces that I have already cut per card, and we'll see where I fell short as we go. So I cut both pieces the same. On the PDF, so if you order $50 and you get the PDF, I will have an alternate that I thought of after I already made all these cards. So it will include some extra bonuses. So I'm just going to start cutting these, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to cut this, and I'm cutting it at 5. So I will tell you the measurements. But if you want the PDF, that's my free gift to my customers. Okay, so we have a little strip here, and then I'm going to cut at 3 3/4. Just looking at my measurements really quick to make sure that's what I did. You know, sometimes I had some ideas and then I changed them as I went, so that's how it goes. So 3 3/4. I might have to stand up so I can see. And then 3. And we have this little strip left. And then this one is going to get cut at 4. 4. And 4. One moment, please. Joseph, go let Baron unlock the door. Thank you. Sorry, my pup is knocking. Okay, so we're going to take our second piece of 6 by 12, and I'm going to cut it at 5 again. And I'm going to do the exact same cuts. Now, I made this so that these sizes, most of them, can be transferred to, oh, I just cut that at the wrong, oh, I cut that wrong. Oh, well, we're going to keep going, and I'm just going to change it. I was talking, and I did the wrong thing. That's all right. It's going to be fine. I just accidentally, I should have had 2 at 3, and I have 2 at 3 3/4. So, it's okay. I got distracted with the dog coming in. It happens. So this set is going to be a little bit different, but you'll get the idea. I'll explain the original, and you can see. So I end up with 3 little strips that are 1 by 4. So I end up having, my green ones are cut correctly. Like I said, it's not really that big of a deal. 5 by 3 3/4, 5 by 3, 5 by 3, 5 by 2 1/4. Yes, 2 1/4. And then you get 3 strips of 1 by 4. Okay. And we have 2 sets of those in 2 different patterns. So if you, I'm going to show you where you could mix and match if you want. So you can choose to mix and match on some of them. If you want to layer your cards, I chose to just make them all separate. So that is up to you when you do your one sheet wonder. So let's start with our first card here. I'm going to pull out, oh my goodness, that 5 by 3 3/4. I put it on white. And I'm just grabbing my things from my pile over here. Okay. So I have a white piece, our standard size here in the US. It is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. So it just layers like this. Okay. And we're going to do some coloring techniques on these pieces. So these pieces came from the Autumn Trees dies. And this is cut with basic beige two-tone. This is dark. These two are light. And we're going to use some blends on it. So are you guys ready? How is everyone tonight? I don't want to just talk to myself. So I pulled in an extra piece of paper here. I wanted to show you my coloring wheel. Maybe I will grab that. I forgot it on the other table. That Vicki and her husband made for me. But we will come back to that. Right now it's not beside me. So I'm going to pull in some blends. You could use watercolor pencils. You could use whatever you have. You could use the water painters and ink pads. There we go. Sorry. I'm trying to think what colors I used here. Okay. So I think I have everything. If not, we'll dig in here in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to start with the underneath of my tree. I'm curious, let me know if you have these in your crafting collection. So this is a double die. So this, there's a large tree. Of course, the die is not right in front of me. And so it has this outline shape. I think these dies are still available. Let me see if I can grab them. Okay, so there's this large tree die. This goes with the stamp set as well. Or there's this inside piece that gives you this detailed layout. And then there's some layering leaves. So that's what I've used here. And these, this little deer, mama deer and baby deer. And we're going to create a little scene. Ooh, yum, Joan. We had, well, I didn't, but my husband and son had chili dogs earlier today. So to color my tree, I'm using dark mossy meadow. There we go. And I'm just kind of swirling it on. And I'm not going to add right here where the branches are going to be. So I'm just kind of swirling around, okay? I'm not making it perfect. There's going to be something that overlaps. So that's the dark mossy meadow. And I'm going to come back in with my other greens. But you know what? Let me do my browns first. So to do my tree, I used pecan pie. And I believe crumb cake. Is it terrible that I should have wrote it down? And I think I did some of this dark 200 in there. So we'll see. Maybe I didn't use crumb cake. Okay, we'll just start. So I'm coming in with this dark and I'm going over those branches that are die cut in. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to add lots of color over it, so don't worry. I'm just kind of doing some thin lines, and I want some lines right here because our tree trunk peeks through. So this was I shared this and I asked, do you alter your die cuts? And I'm curious, who has done this? So you notice I'm not being real precise here. I'm just putting some lines in. with this darker marker. Kind of looking to see what I did on my original here. Oh, I'm sorry, Christy. Yeah, I have problems when I use my iPad. I feel like sometimes if you're watching it portrait, try turning it landscape and see if the comments will come up beside the video. I'm not very techie, but that's my advice. So this is dark pecan pie, and I'm just putting some lines in here, okay? And I'm doing some of the branches. I'm kind of just going over where I did that other color. Again, not super perfect, okay? Oh, hey, Deb. No worries. Everybody's watching football tonight. So you can kind of see, hopefully, my messy tree coming together. So I'm going to use the light pecan pie. And I'm just going to go over those branches. And I want to tell you, it's you could have used white here, right? You could do your die cut in white. That would be absolutely fine. I just like doing something a little different. It does kind of change the tone of your finished product when you use a colored cardstock. And this two-tone is not super thick, so it doesn't hold as much ink. So you will notice that it doesn't blend as much. I'm just kind of holding it up because I need to see kind of where my branches are ending. I didn't do this section yet. And I'm not being real exact here. Okay, I think I got all of it. So you see how that kind of comes out? And then we're going to use the dark old olive. So I put on, this was the dark mossy meadow, and now I'm just kind of going back in with the old olive, and I'm just doing little messy circles. Like I'm not trying to make it exactly perfect. So you can have it really dark. You could do a fall tree. That would be pretty too. So I'm just kind of adding that color on. Okay, you can always readjust it. So now I'm coming in, and my old olive light has seen better days, so it's might have to see if I have a new one. We'll see. And I'm just gonna go around and go over the whole thing. Yeah, it's kind of dying on me. Let's see. And you can see when it starts running out, it gets, it's a little bit different green. It gets lighter because it doesn't have as much in it. So I'm just going over top of all of that color I already laid down, and I'm trying to just smooth it a little bit, but I like the variation of the color. And I'm going right over where I put in that brown as well. Not over my branches, but over the trunk part. Okay. That one's just about completely dead. I will have to find another one here or switch colors. See if I can find a new one. Everybody cross your fingers. Ah, yay. I do have one. Okay, excellent. Okay, I'm gonna try to be a little gentle on this one because it's brand new. And some of this is going to be covered up, so that's why I don't care if it's perfect. Okay. Just trying to make sure I covered it. It does take a lot of ink. This way takes a lot of ink, but I like the look of it. So that's why I said you could use water painters and kind of apply ink and try to watercolor it a little bit. It won't take a lot of water though, okay? So now I have these, and these are very delicate. So when I did this one, it's the old one. Sorry, trying to find a spot to prop my markers to see if I can squeak any more out of it. I just did the dark old olive, and this is light basic beige, so it's gonna look a little brighter. And I'm being very messy. I'm not being perfect. Just putting some color on. You could take your time and maybe color it a little better than I did, or you could die cut it. You know, we have some, especially in this paper pack, we have some really cool greens that would be great die cut from this. Now I'm going to come in with that light old olive, and I'm just going over the whole die cut. So I don't know if you can tell, I'm pushing the color, and I'm pushing it, and then I'm lifting. And then I'm doing it fast. Hopefully you can see. So like I said, sometimes I like to use something other than white. It just kind of changes the tone. Well, it does change the tone of your project. And so it would be kind of a bright or true color of the old olive, and this just gives it a little something because it didn't start off white. So I'm curious, have you ever tried coloring on a different color? I know a lot of times we just automatically grab white. We don't think about it. But I do like to change it up. So again, if you don't want to color this, you could have just cut it out of the two-toned paper. Okay, I'm almost done. Oops. And when you keep adding layers, when you keep going over it, you're adding layers of color. So it's not going to stay that true old olive. Okay. Okay, so there is that piece. And then it will go onto here. So it gives a little texture element, okay? If you want this to be propped up, I don't recommend using dimensionals on this. It is very delicate. What I do recommend is cutting 3 or 4 of these out and adhering them together and then sticking them on your tree. That will make your die cut stronger. Okay, now we're ready for the deer. And I played with these quite a bit. It was just kind of hard to really get a lot of detail on those. Sorry. I was checking on my son. He's upstairs doing something. Okay, so I started off with, let me see what color I have here. I used very similar colors. This one's 400. I feel like I used a lighter color, but it's not laying here. Well, it must have been 400. Okay. So I'm just going to go in and start adding, and I am going to go back and kind of layer some colors and make some lighter. But I just had a hard time, so I'm going to have to remember my steps, and I'm just going to do it the exact same way. So I just add in some color to them. And then I think I used the light pecan pie. And I just did some lines. And I know it is not going to come out perfect. All those deer hunters are probably not not happy with my coloring, but it's okay. It's not going to be perfect. Okay, and then I think I did dark pecan pie. A little. Yeah, I did. Okay. Looking at my original here. I played with it a lot, put a lot of ink on, and came back. I promise it feels like it's harder on camera when I'm doing this than when I do it myself. All by myself here in my room. Anyone else feel like that? Okay. Now to do my eye. I know, Joan. I'm always overthinking it. You know me. I did a little dot. One of them didn't turn out so little. That's okay. And I used my color lifter here to kind of add in some lighter spots here. And I feel like I must have used this really dark brown. And it's hard to make little tiny lines with these. They're not, it is for me anyways. So I'm just taking my color lifter and kind of going over that. Didn't turn out the same, but that's all right. Oh. There we go. Now I did use a little tiny bit of the 1000, and of course this time I didn't color it all the way. On these I actually had to push it into the brown, and then I will show you what I used to put some white spots on him. Now to do my grass I did the same thing. I came in with some dark, this is dark old olive, and I made my grass here, and then I used the light old olive, and we're going to trim some of it off. Oops. Okay. And I used gray granite for my rock here. And I'm just kind of going over where the die cut gave me some details. And I didn't go all the way up with that. And I'm going to use just the color lifter to kind of smooth that edge a little bit. So you can see, I used very plain die cuts, and I just kind of colored them and made them my own. Okay, I accidentally got a little green over there, so that's okay, because we are going to make his tail white. So there's more white on the deer around here, and this is just a gel pen. And I'm going to add a little white there. And you can even add some down here. And then you can add your little spots. So it doesn't want to work right this minute. And over here on Mom, I'm going to add a little white on her tail as well. And then, so there we go. There's my little deer. Now we're just going to layer these up. And then the inside, now I didn't put anything on the inside of this. It can become whatever I want it to become. I'm not putting a greeting on the outside. I'm going to leave the scene as is and let it just be a beautiful card front. So to do that, I'm going to adhere all these things together. So I'm just putting a little bit of glue here and there on this. You could use adhesive sheets. But I feel like there's enough spots that I can put little drops of glue that it's going to work out pretty well. I don't want a ton, but, and then I'm just laying this over my tree. Isn't that pretty? So see, you can color this like the trunk and then add some color. I noticed I missed some right here. I am going to come in and I think so you can still touch things up. I did this even on the other one after. And I realized, oh, I need a little more color here or there, and leave it on there. Now this is going to go right onto the card base, or I'm sorry, not the card base, the card layer. So that grid, and this has texture cut into it. So be careful when you put the, I'm using liquid glue, but it will kind of come through that a little bit. I'm letting this hang off just a tad. You can let it hang off a little bit more if you want. Just as long as it's not over your card front. Now I'm just adding some glue, just a little bit, and I am going to trim this. So I'm going to lay this on and I'm putting it right along the bottom. And you can, you know, put this wherever you want. If you want it right up along the tree, if you want it over to one side. This die does not cut all the way. It's an edge die. So I could have made this longer on either side, depending on how I wanted it, okay? But I went ahead and left it like this. And I see a little piece here that needs some green. There we go. Like I said, you can always come in and kind of touch it up. So this, I like to do layers of coloring. Oh, now I'm going to flip this over, cut it off. Thank you, Joan. And, oh. So I'm just flipping it over from the back and trimming off the excess. And now we're just going to put it on our card base. So if you want to do something on the inside, there are some pretty stamps that are in. I don't know if the stamp set's still available. I'm not sure what has sold out. They are in the last chance. So there are some pretty stamps that are included that you could use on the inside, or you could just stamp a saying and put, you know, a strip of pretty paper. We often have little strips of paper left over. So there we go. That is card 1. What do you guys think? I need to go faster, don't I? Oh, maybe I should vote and see which cards you want to make, because there are a lot of cards. I have lots and bits and pieces. So I did want to show you that coloring technique. Okay. Let's see. Let's do that. Let's choose, because we've already been on here for a little while. And, well, I can't stay on all night. So let's vote on a few more cards that you want to see. I'm going to put these up. Let's make one of these. So if you're on, let's have a little vote. The gears, the mousse, or the flower. This one has coloring. These are easier. They just have stamping. So let me know, because I made 10 cards. I made 10 cards with these, and I will tell you all the things that I used to make the cards. So on this one, I used the Gears and Textures bundle. So I used the stamp set and the dies, and this happy birthday is from Reason to Celebrate. So let me grab my stamps here. Yes, Reason to Celebrate. So this is a new set. I love sets that have a whole bunch of different greetings, and this covers a lot of holidays. And so it does have this little happy and then birthday. Now the Charming Day, this one is retired. I think it's already sold out. That is where I got the flower. So let's see. This Moose and Tree, the Not Lost, Just Exploring, is from Exploring Nature. And the moose is from Outdoor Adventure. So there's a moose and the trees, and you could do the wolf. And then let's see. Oh, where did it go? Here it is. So on this card, this Lovely Florals, which is available in my online store, has this really fun texture, and I stamped that onto the paper. What are we missing here? I think that's everything for those cards. I have some really cute new sets I want to show you guys. So, I have a couple votes for the moose, the gears, the flowers. So I love all of them, and I'm just afraid we'll run out of time. So maybe I'll come back if we have a little extra time, but we've already been on for a while. So let's do the moose. I'm going to put these at the bottom of my pile. So let me grab out all the bits for the moose. Okay, so I need a scrap. I need that. Now this, I do need an inside piece. I'll have to see what I have cut. And then I used that for my greeting. So this does have coordinating dies. Let me pull those out. I have decided to store my dies with my stamps. That's the beauty of the new packaging. So let me show you. I originally taped this to my packaging, and I realized I don't like to take this out every time. So that is not going to be the way that I do it. So I had some extra acetate, and I just left that like it is. But I did see Lisa over at Lisa's Stamp Studio do something new, and I was stamping a piece of paper and adhering it, but she had this great idea, if I can find my marker here, to take a Sharpie and just trace around on the outside of the acetate where the stamp would go, and then that way when you peel it off, there's, now I did mine in teal, you could use black, but there's an outline so you know where the stamp goes. You don't, it doesn't have, the stamp is not, you know, it doesn't show how it stamps, but that's okay. I can see that on the outside of the envelope. So I do kind of like this way. So, you know, I'm trying it all out. So this is what I came up with, because I didn't like taking the packaging all the way out all the time. So we have our moose, and I don't know if he's going to fit on here, but we're going to try to fit him. And let's see if the trees fit. Maybe. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to die cut those, and then I have my little cut and emboss here. And we're going to cut those out. So I want my little sleeves to stay in the packaging. And I do like the dies in here, but it does make it a little thicker, so you might not like that for your storage. Okay, I used a Mossy Meadow base, standard base, 8.5 by 5.5. It's scored at 4 1/4 or folded in half on the long side. And this one's just stamping. So these go a little faster. Now on this one, I used the three-inch piece. Now remember, this one's going to be modified because I cut it too big. That's okay. So this is 3 by 5. I like using this size and then just layering things on top of it. And let's see. I'm a little bit of a train wreck over here, aren't I? I used Mossy Meadow ink, and I'm using a little spot because my Mossy Meadow full-sized ink pad is giving me a little bit of a problem, and I had to re-ink it, so it wasn't ready to use for the video. So I'm using a little spot I got in a paper pumpkin, and I'm using Early Espresso ink for my moose. Now you could do, I think that's a wolf. I don't know. Did I say fox? I meant to say wolf if I said fox earlier when I was talking about that stamp set. But I like the kind of watercolored look of the animals. Okay. So that is Early Espresso. Man, I need a bigger desk. Of course, usually you're just using one stamp set, right? I'm using a whole lot. I can't help it. Sometimes I just want to play with a lot of different things. And when I do one sheet wonders, I like to have a variety of all the themes, because I'm usually making a set that I either want a gift or I'm just trying to beef up my stash so I have things ready to go. Okay. So again, this is Mossy Meadow. And these stamps that I'm using, they're like distinctive stamps. They have a lot of detail built in to one stamp. So you can kind of see how that looks like. One's a little more solid than the ones in the front. And that helps you get a really nice stamp with lots of detail with one ink. There's that. And I know this is shaking my camera. I'm sorry. I'm trying to clean as I go. I have my Stampin' Scrub next to me. And you can see this is very well loved. I have used these two stamps quite a bit, so I need to start giving some love to those other ones in the set. And it has some really cool things in here. I love the big words, and I also like these texture stamps, so I'm going to be using those in the future. And the dies are really cool too. I like to buy things that have coordinating dies as a bundle so you can save 10%. But you can cut these out, which we're going to do. And they also have these cool, like an arrow and some cool footprints and a little mountain die. I do put my dies on a magnetic sheet, so I tape it to the sheet that they come on just to recycle it and make my magnet a little more sturdy. So let me bring in my little cut and emboss. And we will cut these out. So I've got my base plate and I have two number 2 plates. Okay. And I'm going to do them one at a time because I don't know if I have any tape over here. Ooh. Let me see. Here's a piece. You guys still with me? Is anybody crafting along? I know, I hear 2 people are watching football. Is anybody crafting along with me? The little mini is very handy if you need to die cut right on your desk. So it does just little pieces, which is nice. Hopefully, well, it's a little off. I might trim him a little bit. I didn't tape it very well. Now we will do the trees. There we go. There's our pieces. Put this stuff away. Don't know if I'll need that again, so I'm just going to toss it to the side. Hopefully I don't trip when I leave out of here. I got stuff all the way around me. It's fun, though, to get well, I don't have everything out, but to get lots of things out and just play with everything and ink it up and have fun. So we're going to do this. I got to stamp our greeting. I'm going to take my snips here and I'm just going to trim it. Does anyone else get like super bothered when it doesn't come out perfect? Some things I don't mind, but when it's really obvious that I messed it up, I just can't live with it. I think that'll be okay. Oh, Valentine's. Joan, you can't do 3 things at one time? Okay, so I've used this. This is from the Spotlight on Nature dies. I will have to check. I think they're retired. I know we've had a lot of things leave recently. But I just kind of layered those up. And now I'm going to stamp my greeting. And that is from this new Exploring Nature set. I love the set. It has big greetings. So here's the way I was doing my stamps, where I stamped and then I taped my acetate to the paper. So I don't know that I'll do this every time. I kind of like the other way too. That's the hard part when you're exploring what you might like with new packaging. Okay, so this says not lost, just exploring, and I absolutely love that. So I'm just going to put it on a block and we're going to cut around it. So I inked this up with the Mossy Meadow. And I inked it really well. Just trying to make sure I got it. There we go. And I'm just stamping on a scrap strip of basic white. I have lots of those when I cut down layers for different things. So I just keep them in a little bag thing over here that I keep them sorted in, and pull out strips when I need them for greetings. Trying to be good here and put my things away so nothing gets lost. Okay. I do like to let my greetings sit for just a second before I start cutting all over them. So while I'm waiting a second for that, let me get my white out and see. I need a white layer for the inside. Really thick. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to put that on the inside. You could stamp on the inside. You could stamp trees, another greeting, whatever you wanted to say. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. I'm leaving mine blank. I'm not sure how I want to use all of these cards just yet. So a lot of times I leave them blank, and if I decide to stamp something on the inside later on, I just use a stamp positioner so that I, don't mess up my card. I don't want to have to cut it apart and make it again. So I'm going to add this, and I just glue it about the middle. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. I like having that wide space on the top and the bottom. I think mine might even be a little crooked. Let's see. So I adhered everything onto this circle, and this is cut from light crumb cake, and then I popped it up on dimensional. So we're going to build this piece right here. I'm going to adhere my mousse, and I want my tree to tuck under there, so I didn't put glue everywhere. A little bit of glue goes a long way. Now we're going to cut this apart. So I want that. Now, you're going to watch me fussy cut, and I'm definitely not an expert at fussy cutting, especially when I do it quick. But just keep trying. I like the look of it. I know this is the boring part. Oh, so I'm curious, has anyone ordered any new stamp sets lately? We had a whole bunch just released, but I'm just curious, what's on your list? Or do you go for the paper first? What do you get excited about when we have new products? Okay, there's my just exploring. You know what? I have longer scissors that make this easier. So I'm just trying to cut it straight. You can tell I've had glue on there because everything sticks to it. Here we go. So I just cut the greeting apart, and I'm just gonna use a little tiny bit of adhesive. We're gonna tuck this in the top and then put this along the bottom. I think I did that one a little sideways. That's okay, right? Kind of fun. Now I'm going to flip it over and put dimensionals on there. Friendly foliage. Is that the one with the new washi tape? There's so many things that have caught my eye that I haven't ordered a ton. I ordered a little bit. There's so many cute things. Okay, so I had to use a couple mini dimensionals and a couple regular dimensionals. And if you're waiting for these to come back in, I think they're going to be back in, not next week, but the following week. So you're keeping your eye on that. Remember, if you click on a product and it is sold out right now, you can sign up for the Notify Me, and as soon as it's back in stock, you will get an email, and then you can go and put it in your cart. Okay, there we go. I think I put them both a little crooked. That's okay. I kind of like it when things aren't always straight on. So this one I did straight on, and this one, they're kind of a little wonky, and I like it. So there we go. That's how we did it. Again, on the inside, you can stamp some trees. You could stamp that tree image. You could do another moose. If you have strips of this paper left over from any of your projects, you could put a piece of that on the inside. And this could be anything. I have a friend who, we like to say she's not lost, she's just wandering. So when I see this phrase, it made me think of her. Not exactly the same, but very fun. And I think it applies to me. I like to be outside, hiking and stuff. So fun. Okay, let's see. Oh, scrapbook kit. Oh, cardstock. I always need cardstock, I feel like. And the Easter suite. Oh, that's fun. Okay, so let me show you. These two use the strips. And then we have these cute little bugs. So let me tell you what we used here, and we'll make one of these. Okay, so let me put some things away so I can show you some new things. Now on this set, I used the lovely florals, and I used the branching out dies. That's where this really neat die shape comes from. This is Thoughts and Prayers, and it's just simple. I just let the texture be from the Designer Series paper, and I used a die cut, and I stamped a greeting. Where's my... Here are my things I just got in yesterday. I can find my stamps. Where did they go? Okay. They're back here. This is what happens when you have way too many stamps out. So I love these sweet bugs. And let me tell you, on, I think it was my other card. Yes, on this card right here, I used this stamp set. So this is the January product of the month. When you spend $75 before tax and shipping, you can opt to buy this for $5. And it is absolutely worth it. Has some big greetings, and I love this. I love greeting sets. So I used that on the other one. But I just got these in. Look at these cute, sweet bugs that I used the stamp sets and the dies. So that's these two cards. Now this little hello is from Beautiful Motifs. We've had that. It's in the annual catalog. This happy, happy birthday, that is from the Reason to Celebrate. So lots of variety here. And you could see 3 of them use that Mossy Meadow, fun, textured, it looks textured paper from the Nature Walk Designer Series paper. So we can do it really simple. We can make one of these. I think all of them I have my bits and pieces for. So what do you guys think? Do you want to do something simple? Do you want to do a flower, or do you want to do a sweet bugs card? I love the bugs. Thank you, Joan. Oh, Deb, I know what you're talking about. It has like the, yes, I know what you're talking about now. That has the frame. The set that has the frame, and it cuts the inner part of the frame is the overlapped foliage. Yeah, that's pretty too. That's pretty too. So which one do you guys want to make? I love all of them. I had a lot of fun making these. I think the sweet bugs are so cute. Joe said he really liked this one with the little caterpillar. I see some votes for bugs. And on this one, I used some embellishments. And let me tell you what those are, because those are new as well. They're an online exclusive products. And they are called Moody Palette Glossy Dots. They're nice and flat. And they come in cloud, so it's white, cloud cover, old olive, and secret sea. And I love these. So this goes with a new suite that's online. I don't have the suite, but I absolutely love the embellishment. So I decided to add some of those in as well. All right, I see lots of votes for bugs. So, and I don't know if I said this greeting is from Prayers and Promises, which is also a new set. Okay, let's do some bugs here. Okay, I'm going to toss those back in my other pile. You never know. We might get to them. I don't know. So I've already die cut. Let's see what I got down here. I do have card bases. That's a plus. I have a giant pile. Joe was helping me and nothing sorted. So, okay, I have this goes with this one. And this little ant one's actually really simple. So, both of these I used this green. And I used, let's see, nope. The 5x3 on both of those. And this is 2 inches by 3 3/4, and we're just going to layer it. We're going to stamp it, color it, and layer it. And it's on Misty Moonlight. This one uses the largest circle from the Stylish Shapes. It uses the 3x5 paper. I put it on a crumb cake base. All my bases are 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. These are the cute little mushrooms that layer, or toadstools, whatever you call them, from the dies, the Sweet Bug dies. So there's 2 sizes, and then they have the little cap, okay, that you can die cut and put over top. I did mine out of light basic beige, and these are dark basic beige. And we're just going to color, stamp and color everything with blends. So let's jump in. I'm going to do all my stamping at one time on both my pieces. So then I can just color and assemble. So these are so cute. Love it. And when I saw these little ants, first of all, we used to love the song Ants Go Marching, you know? And when I saw these, and I just thought it looks like, you know, he's blowing a trumpet and it's somebody's birthday. I cleaned my blocks, but you can't even tell at this point. I've been stamping so much today. So I'm gonna ink up this little caterpillar in basic gray. Isn't he cute? I'm just gonna stamp him toward one side. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I am going to try to clean as I go. This has some really cute little things. Now the paper to this set is super cute. I don't have it out yet, but I will share it with you when I get it out. So all of my little bits are being stamped in basic gray. There's my little ants marching. And then I use, there's a little mushroom or toadstool stamp, and I use that on both of them. going to color. Okay. Close this before we have a disaster. Okay, so let me bring in this was my yucky paper from earlier today. Lots of practicing, as you can see. Now, for my ants, I used light pecan pie. And I just added some along the lines. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then I used light crumb cake. And I went over the whole thing. Sometimes it's fun to mix different colors. I'm going to show you some colors I use that you might not put together over on the mushrooms and on my caterpillar. So this set also kind of reminds me of, do you guys remember the Hungry Caterpillar book? Okay, I used, this is ivory. So I used ivory on my stems here, and it's not real dark. So I also used a little tiny bit of the light crumb cake. Joan, we don't have fire ants here, just so you know. I'm very familiar with those. When we lived in Alabama, fire ants were the only ants. Not fun. Now for these, I'm just using, I think this is dark real red. I didn't do a lot of blending on these little ones. You could. Now I did on this one, I put a little bit of light Darling Duckling right along the edge, just to give a pop of like a yellow, kind of an orange when they kind of go together. So fun. Okay, so for my leaf, this is light Darling Duckling. And then I used Old Olive. So here is dark Old Olive. And then I went, that was dark Old Olive. Now I'm using the light Old Olive and I'm going over the whole thing. And you don't have to cover all of that yellow if you don't want to. It just kind of brightens your leaf a little bit, okay? And then to make my grass, I just did some squiggles and lines. I think I stamped that a little higher than I did on the original. That's okay. And I might have even used, of course, that one could have been running out of ink. So I also used lemon lime twist. So on my little caterpillar here, I'm going to use light old olive. And lemon lime twist, light. I'm going to brighten them up a little bit. Yeah, I might have used some of this on the grass. Just as much as you like. Some of it's going to get covered up, so. Now, to smooth this out a little bit, I used my color lifter, and I just tried to smooth the edge just a tad. You're going to dilute it out just a little bit. Isn't he cute? Same thing over here. I just did little flicks for the grass and some dots. And you could even make it a little taller. I mean, they are ants. Now for my trumpet here, I did some Darling Duckling. And then I did it like along the bottom. Put it up so you can see it. So I did it along the bottom. And then I'm going to use crumb cake, light crumb cake. And I'm just going to go over it a little bit. Now, my little flag here, I did in light balmy blue. So you could make it, you know, shaded and everything. I just wanted a pop of blue because I'm going to put blue as my card base. Thank you. Aren't they cute? I love them. Okay. I'm going to show you how to do these in just a minute, but first I'm going to take a break here and I'm going to stamp my greeting because I want it to dry a little bit before I try to put it on my card. So let me find that stamp set. Let's use this. So this is a new greeting set. I highly recommend getting it. It's a great one for your collection. And I'm going to use happy birthday, but it has graduation, anniversary, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, special day. I don't know exactly what you'd use that on just yet, but Valentine's Day, New Year's. So lots of things. Okay. So I'm going to do the birthday first. And I'm going to make sure this is nice and inked up. Just stuck my finger in there. I'm going to stamp birthday about there. happy. And I did happy, happy. And I made it like it was a wave, right? It's going along with the music. Cute, right? That one's ready to go. All we have to do is assemble that one. So I'm going to lay that over there. Now let's go back to these, because I do have an element here that needs to dry. Well, I'll tell you what I used. As you can see, mine didn't come out very white, so I'm not going to use the same thing on this one, but I will show it to you. So on these, it doesn't really show up, but I used some ivory. I think the texture still comes through. And I'm just putting it where these, so this will go on like this. So I'm just putting it where that underneath would show. And I'm going to take my light crumb cake and I'm just going to put lines, kind of like what you would see if you came across this in the woods. And I love taking pictures of toadstools, mushroom, fungus in the woods. I don't know why. I just like it. Okay, so I have my two little pieces here. Hopefully you guys can see it. I know my page is really messy, but on this big one, I used that light Darling Duckling. So it's kind of a yellow green. And I also used dark real red and light cherry cobbler. So I'm just going to start adding some of this color on. And we are going to cover up some of that yellow. So these little pieces layer, you can cut these out of cardstock. So if you don't want to color the whole thing, you could do it with cardstock, a lighter color, and then use some darker blends on it and just add a little bit of dark color on there. And then this is the real red. Just like using my blends. And I'm going to try to make this kind of uneven. Best I can. Now, those are all ready to glue. Now let me tell you, I buy these paint pens and I used a paint pen, but for some reason, it turned pink. So I don't know if you can see that. It turned kind of pink on me. So I do have these gel pens like this. So I have lots of different pens. These don't always work how I want them to. So I'm going to glue these together. I'm going to use the gel pen instead. If you use a paint pen, I do like them for different projects. But you have to let them dry a little bit. So I'm just putting this on. And this has a slit here. I don't know. I haven't played with these enough just yet to know everything that you can do with these. So this is just my first time kind of assembling them and using them. Does anyone have this set? Raise your hand in the comments or comment if you already got this Sweet Bugs. There's a whole suite. I got a lot of it. Let's just say that. Oops. I got my little sticky here. And I'm just touching up the edges there. Okay, so now I'm going to use, let's see if it's working, my little gel pen here and put some spots on my mushroom or toadstool. I don't know what the difference is. I'm going to be really honest. I just like it. There we go. Good enough. It doesn't have to be completely done. You get the idea. Okay. Now, this one, so I'm going to let these dry for just a second. Okay. They too need to dry. Oh my gosh, that one's stuck to me. I have glue on my fingers now. I need to stamp this little hello. Oops, I do have one stamped already, but I used, I think crumb cake. It was crumb cake or pecan pie. One of those two. We'll just go with crumb cake. I didn't take very good notes as I was hurrying to make cards today. So that hello comes from this beautiful motifs. This is part of a suite that is in the annual catalog. So you can find this one in my online store as well. I love this little hello. It's pecan pie. Oops, sorry. Sorry, I think I bumped the camera. That's okay. All right, we're in business here. Okay. I've used this so much it needs re-inked. There's our little hello. And I just used my scissors to trim it. Oops, sorry. My cord is in the wrong spot and I keep hitting it, so I apologize that my camera keeps shaking. Oh, thanks, Deb. Take care. Have a good night. I'm going to assemble these two cards, and then I will probably call it a night, too. Maybe we'll meet up tomorrow. Maybe I can squeeze another live in tomorrow and finish the cards. All right, so this is going to go on here. I like it toward the middle. You can change it up however you like. So again, this is a Misty Moonlight base. And then I put this on with dimensionals. As I figure out where they went. I've lost them. They're probably sitting right in front of my face. literally. Oh my goodness. Did anybody see where I put my dimensionals? Oh, no. That is not the pink I had. Oh well. Let's dig in here and find a different one. It's probably under my card or something. All right, raise your hand if you lose your stuff while you're crafting with it, even though you just had it. That's me. And then I just popped this up. You could add some embellishments if you wanted. I'm just gonna put some white pieces on the inside, and I'm gonna leave mine blank for the moment, but feel free to stamp yours. If you want to use blends, I recommend stamping it and coloring it before you adhere it in, but it's not the end of the world with a dark card base. If you do it later, it's okay. Sometimes I don't put the inside in. This is a bad habit of mine, but because I don't know how I want it finished, so I just leave it until I'm ready to use it. Okay, so here we go. What do you guys think? Now look, that gel pen, I don't know if you can see it, it's also kind of turning pink. So I'll probably go over it again. Now, what's weird is I don't know if it's just the red, if it's a reaction with the red ink that is in the blends, because I did that on my deer, my baby deer, and he did not turn red. So I don't know. Just go over it again once I have it assembled and let it dry. Now this one, for my portrait card, I'm putting this off to the side just a little bit. Like this. I like to go to the left. Make sure my card's opening the right way here. Because I like this to hang off a little bit. Okay, that's just a design element that I like. And I adhered a lot of this flat. Okay, so we're going to have this hanging off a little bit. Then we're going to put these on. Oops. A little too much glue there. And then this is going to go on with a dimensional. I just need to hold that down for a second. That's why you don't want to put these on and then touch it while it's wet, because you need to be able to hold those die cuts on so they stick down, so the glue dries a little bit. I'm just using one dimensional, and I'm putting my hello right there, where everything kind of meets up. Now let me come back in. Let's see what, oops, my scraps. See, this is a different gel pen. Let's see how this works. So I have lots of different brands. So there we go. There's our other little cute bug. Okay. So I'm going to stick this one on top because it is not dry. There we go. Okay, let's see what cards we have left. It is 9:48. So I have the gear. This is the last other card I made. So here's some flower cards. This combined a gear stamp. And then here are these. You guys want to do, let's do one more really quick. Let's see if we can get one done in 10 minutes. So which one do you want to do? Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know that's a lot to choose from. Oh, I forgot to stick this on the inside. It's wet. I will wait. So if you're with me and you want to vote, I know a lot of people took off. It's bedtime for most of us. It's bedtime for me too, but I like crafting. So we're going to do, I'm going to stay up crafting just a little bit. What do you think? Who's on? Who wants to see one more card? Ooh, thank you for the love. So number 5. Sometimes simple's great. You know, we always think that we need to layer it up and really add a lot of stuff. So I did do that with these cards because I wanted to show you how you could pair these general card, you know, or designer series papers, right? You cut this up and you're like, oh, I love this. And I just immediately thought of a bunch of things that I wanted to use it with. So I like to show you lots of different things. I think this might be one of my favorites though. And it used the strips as well. All right, number 5 it is. I bet we can get this done pretty quick. And let me know in the comments if you'd like a follow-up video to see how I made the rest of these 5 cards. So if you watch on Facebook or YouTube, let me know. Now this one, I don't think I have a card base. We could always change the color. I used Pretty Peacock and I used the strips. So we didn't use very much of this one, but it's the 3 1x4 strips. Oh yes, scraps. Joan, that is next on my list. Just so you know, I have not forgotten your request. Okay, so I used the smallest branching out die. Okay, there's some nesting dies, and we have these 3 pieces, and I used Pretty Peacock. Let's see if I got a piece of Pretty Peacock. I will cut a card base really quick. So if you didn't see before, this is how I cut my card bases. I take an 8.5 by 11. On the 8.5 side, I score it at 4 1/4. Make sure you use your scoring blade. Then I turn it and I cut the 11-inch side at 5.5, and I get 2 card bases ready to go. Normally I have a bunch of these cut, but I didn't have this color. Leftovers up from 6 by 6. So what size are your scraps, Joan? Like 1-inch, like strips, or what are we talking? So I have my card base. You can do this portrait or landscape. whichever way you like. And I'm just going to take these, and remember, these weren't right beside each other, but that's okay. Like, see this dark spot? I like to put it down in the corner. And then I just try to go light to dark. So this one's a little bit lighter. Some of it's going to get covered up and it won't matter, but you just adhere those down, and then you're going to stamp your die cut and adhere it, and then put a white piece on the inside. And if you've cut your paper so that it is facing the right way, you can flip it over if you like the other side. This is the one I was talking about. You can mix and match. So depending on the patterns you choose, you could mix these and put 2 of one pattern and 1 of the other and change it up, okay? There's lots of ways to do this. Ooh, it's like, so 2 inches by 6, Joan, because I love, one of my favorite things to do is 2 by 5. I have a card layout for 2 by 5, so, but I also have lots of, where I did previous things where I did strip backgrounds and different things with strips of paper. I love using up scraps. Okay, this one got over a little too far. Let's see if I can move it. I have to clean up some glue there. That's okay. Take care of it in a minute. I'm not going to worry about this one because guess what? Our greeting's going to cover it. Okay. I don't know if I got that straight or not, but I think it's pretty close. Now, I'm going to stamp my greeting. It is from that Prayers and Promises. I love this set. And this would be a great card for somebody that just needs to know you're thinking about them. They've got somebody thinking about them, praying for them, somebody on their side. And I stamped the greeting in Pretty Peacock. So you could change this out to any color that you want. You can see my ink pad is having some issues. I didn't use it for a really long time, and I'm not sure, it's just sat for a while. I'm trying to stamp it straight. Sometimes when I have straight words and then script, I have a hard time stamping that straight. And so sometimes I use my stamp positioner because I just don't want to have to restamp things, especially when I have a die cut. I don't want to have to redo that. Okay. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and put my inside layer in here. And sometimes these are 4 by 5 1/4 pieces, these white pieces. And a lot of times I like to use 5 by 3 3/4 because I like more of the card base color to show. So that's up to you if you have a lot to write or if you don't. And bring in those dimensionals. Just going to pop this up and we're good to go. What do you guys think? I'd love to know what your favorite card was. And also, if you want a part 2 video to see the rest of the cards, let me know in the comments. Now, if you're watching this a long time from now, and I don't have part 2, I can't promise if I'll have everything, but I'll do my best. And we just stick that on there. I think I did get these a little lopsided. That's okay. So there we go. So we made a simple card with some strips and a die cut, some cute bugs, some outdoorsy, and then this one, just got glue on the back of my card. There we go. This one I love. It doesn't have a greeting, and it had some coloring, but I really love this die set. So if it's not sold out and you want it, grab it because you don't want to miss it. It's really a really great thing to have in your collection. Thank you. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me on a Saturday night. I appreciate you hanging out with me and letting me share my ideas with you. So I had a lot of fun making all these different cards, using some new sets, and I came up with a very good variety. All the other ones were flowers. We didn't make any of the flower sets. Here are the other cards. There was my son said this is a great card for my dad because he likes engines and stuff. But I used lots of flowers. You can use the gears and textures. You can mix and match lots of sets. Okay, lots of different things with this Nature Walk paper pack. So everyone have a beautiful night. Have a wonderful Sunday. And I will see you soon. Take care.